Hello, Assalamualaikum. Okay, preparation of insoluble salt. Insoluble is tidak larut ya, garam tidak larut, dan juga the Ionic equation. How we form the Ionic equation of the insoluble salt. Okay, first preparation of insoluble salt. It have only one method, which is we call it as precipitation method through double decomposition reaction. Okay, kalau dalam exam maksudnya dua-dua ni kami terima sebagai jawapannya. You can mention precipitation or you can mention the double decomposition. Okay, insoluble salt terdiri daripada dua ions, which is the cation ions and the anions. So the first aqueous solution, it doesn't matter actually the first or second, but one of the aqueous solution should contain cations, while the second one should contain anions. So those cations and anions will combine and produce insoluble salt, while the soluble salt is the side product from this reaction. Okay, this makes the Ionic equation for the barium sulfate. Okay, so barium sulfate is insoluble salt. PCB, B. Shortnya is sulfate, B is barium. So barium sulfate is insoluble salt. Okay, first you have to come out with the chemical equation, where I choose barium chloride to provide barium ion. Okay, barium ion here, Ba2 plus. While sulfate, I'll choose sodium sulfate to contribute the sulfate ion. So our insoluble salt will be barium sulfate. Okay, so to produce Ionic equation, you have to write the balanced chemical equation first. So this is our chemical equation. We have barium chloride react with sodium sulfate to produce barium sulfate and sodium chloride. So it's shown from the state of each chemical substance. It is aqueous. So this is a soluble salt, while here is solid, meaning barium sulfate is our insoluble salt, and sodium chloride is aqueous, so this is our soluble salt. Okay, first step, you have to break the each soluble salt into their constituents ions. For example, we have here Ba2 plus, so it is important for you to memorize all the charge for each ion. So Ba2 plus here, Cl minus, we have 2 of Cl minus, that's why you have to write down 2 Cl minus. And here Na plus, we have 2 Na plus, 1 SO4 2 minus. Barium sulfate, so it is a solid substance, solid salt. It cannot be broken into their ions. And sodium chloride, it break it into 2 Na plus and 2 Cl minus. And second step, you have to check the same ion from the reactants and product. Just cancel it out. For example, the first one here, chloride. We have 2 chloride, and after duration, this is after duration, we have also 2 chloride, so just cancel out. Another one is sodium and sodium. Next one, you just write down the balance of the ions, which is Ba2 plus, SO4 2 minus, and the product, which is barium sulfate. Then this our Ionic equation, Ba2 plus, SO4 2 minus, and BaSO4. So tak perlu ya tulis aqueous and solid ni, tak perlu. Kalau keluar dalam soalan, awak kena tahulah AQ is aqueous, S is solid. Okay, preparation of lead to iodide. This is what we have done in our lab. Okay, procedure, I just repeat the procedure. Okay, for the first step, it is important for you to mention the concentration and the volume of the solution. Okay, so kita nak hasilkan lead iodide, and I need you, I tak nak, I macam ni, I times New Roman, ada kepala, ada kaki. So we need PB nitrate. Lead nitrate will contribute PB, and iodide will come from potassium iodide. So how many lead nitrate? Okay, a beaker, so kita boleh letak banyak lah. So 25 centimeter cube. If you use a test tube or boiling tube, not more than 5 centimeter cube. Okay, and another one, potassium iodide, also 25 centimeter cube. The next step, you have to stir the mixture with a glass rod and filter the contents of the beaker through a filter paper in a filter funnel. Remember each of the apparatus, yeah, filter paper in a filter funnel. Then rinse the precipitate in the filter funnel with distilled water. The distilled water, remember, it is inside the wash bottle. And last one, you have to dry the precipitate between sheets of filter paper. So remember, two solution, you have to mention the concentration and volume, mix into the beaker, mix, and then you filter, and then rinse, and then dry. Okay. Observation, the salt prepared is a yellow solid. Okay, like previous we have done last week. So the chemical equation, lead nitrate, PbNO32, react with 2 potassium iodide, you will produce a lead iodide and 2 potassium nitrate. Okay, there are exercise in your handout. Okay, so exercise 2. I need you to do it first. Okay, write a balanced chemical equation for the following neutralization reaction. Name the salt form in each reaction. Okay, I just come out with the equation, sorry, the question first. You have to write your answer and you have to pause this video now. Toot. Okay, you have done it. Now we check the answer. Okay, sodium hydroxide, the formula of sodium hydroxide, NaOH, sulfuric acid, H2SO4, and you will get NaSO4 and H2O. Okay, sodium sulfate and water. Okay, this is sodium sulfate. Check your answer and balance the equation. You need 2 for sodium hydroxide because in sodium sulfate we have 2 sodium, and spell it right, sodium sulfate. Relation between potassium hydroxide and sulfuric acid, you should have a salt and water for your product. So what is the name of the salt? Potassium sulfate. Okay, the equation. And balance the equation, please. Potassium hydroxide react with 1 mole of a sulfuric acid to produce 1 mole of potassium sulfate and 2 mole of water. Okay, so we can done this exercise. Now we go to the second one, exercise 2, page 8. Complete the table. Wow. Okay, the example for you, the first one, zinc carbonate, has been done for you. You have to separate into the ions. You have to memorize all the charge for the ions and write down the ionic equation. Allah, kenapa koma tu? Zn2 plus CO3 to minus, yeah, and you will get zinc carbonate. Here where you should pause the clips and do the work yourself. Dude, oh, congratulations, you have done. So now check the answer. Okay. Silver chloride. So it will become Ag plus and Cl minus. The ionic equation is Ag plus Cl minus AgCl. If you can recognize all these salt are insoluble. So insoluble salt. It has been stated at the above. Okay. So all insoluble salt. This is the easiest way to produce ionic equation. Okay. Just recognize. Just detect the ions from the insoluble salt and pecahkan dia. Okay. So Ba2 plus SO4 2 minus, you will get BaSO4. How about lead chloride? Pb2 plus and Cl minus. Just put Pb2 plus 2 Cl minus, PbCl2. Remember why you should put number 2 here? Because we have Pb2 plus and the minus, we need 2 minus. So our compound is neutral in charge. The same goes to lead sulfate and calcium carbonate. Okay, check it yourself. Now we go to exercise 3. Exercise 3 ni. Okay, now exercise 3. Allah, dah keluar pula jawapan. Okay, saya nak ulas yang pertama sahaja. The second one, the third one saya nak awak buat sendiri. Kita cuba ya. Okay. So, salt kat sini ialah potassium nitrate. You have to decide what method you should use to prepare potassium nitrate. Kejap. Potassium nitrate, tadi kita dah belajar. K tu ialah daripada nak sodium, ammonium, potassium. So untuk garam nak, you have to use the first method of soluble salt, which is titration between acid and alkali. So kalau nak potassium, maksud Kak Wan nak pakai acid apa? Sorry, you nak pakai alkali apa? Okay, dah mention kat sini. You pakai Mr. Cook, potassium hydroxide. How about the nitrate? The nitrate will come from the acid, which is nitric acid. So the potassium will combine with the nitrate. H will combine with the OH because you should produce water in your equation. Okay. So if me doing this exercise, I should write the chemical equation first. Then I answer the method and reactants. Okay. So potassium hydroxide plus HNO3. You will produce potassium nitrate and water. Okay. So the method is titration with acid and alkali. Reactant that can be used is potassium hydroxide solution and dilute nitric acid. Okay. Okay, next one. We have another two here. I have the answer, but you should do yourself first. Okay. Assist you. Copper to sulfate. Okay, copper to sulfate is soluble. Insoluble salt. Yes, thank you. It is a soluble salt. So, what method should you use? Ini kita dah ulas dalam kelas ni. Anything can be done. Cara kedua boleh, ketiga boleh, keempat boleh. Oops, cara ketiga tak boleh. Kenapa? Cara ketiga tu yang mana? Yang gunakan metal. Okay, acid dengan metal. Acid yang sesuai sebab ada sulfate. So, sulfuric acid very good. But metal tak boleh ya sebab copper is less reactive. Copper is less electropositive compared to hydrogen. Okay, this is the answer. Okay, saya suka tengok equation dia, senang. Yang ni dia guna kaedah nombor 2. Yang ni ialah base. Okay, copper oxide dengan sulfuric acid, you will get copper sulfate and H2O. Another one, you may use copper carbonate. Sulfuric acid and copper carbonate, you will get copper sulfate and H2O. And another one is carbon dioxide gas. Okay, very good. How about lead to iodide? Lead iodide is insoluble salt. Okay, so the method should be double decomposition, mix two soluble salts that provide Pb2 plus and I1 minus. So cadangan anda ialah lead to nitrate. Okay, very good. Ada lagi ke? Kalau lead kan memang lead to nitrate, dia tak ada band lain. Lead to sulfate insoluble salt, lead to carbonate insoluble salt, lead to chloride insoluble salt. The only soluble salt for lead is lead to nitrate. Okay, lead to nitrate. And potassium iodide. Kalau iodide ada banyak lah. Potassium boleh, sodium boleh, ammonium pun boleh. Okay. So equation lead nitrate, you will react with 2 mole of potassium iodide and produce 1 mole of lead iodide and 2 mole of potassium nitrate. I hope so. You can do this exercise yourself before you check the answer. Okay, that's all. Thank you.